Hello Year 5 and welcome to your maths lesson. It's going to get a little bit complicated today, but I've added some extra bits and pieces in the hope that it helped you. So please take this lesson at your own pace today. So we're going to be looking at number sequences where we're going to be adding and taking away groups of fractions and whole numbers away from other fractions. So before we do that though, let's warm your brains up. So set yourself a 5-minute timer, pause the video and have a go at these questions. Okay, so 175 meters times by 18, so using your long multiplication, gives you 3,150. Multiply 17 by 8, you could do an easy one, you could do 20 times 8, which is going to be 160, and then take away 24. But the answer is going to give you 136. Now, how do you know that 73 does not divide by 3 exactly, okay? Now, because 60 does, okay, if we think about partitioning this into our 10s and 1s, we know that we've got 60. We know that 60 partitions, but 30 that we've got left over doesn't partition, okay? Equally, we know that 70, okay, wouldn't be able to be divisible either, okay, because we've gone from 60 to 63, 66, 69. We know it's then got to end in a 2, 5, or an 8, okay? So we know that that wouldn't work. Add together 27 and 1094 is going to give you 1121. So well done if you got those correct. Your time on the other side is 10 past 9. Okay, so it'd be 9:10. If it was going to be your 24-hour clock, it'd be 21:10. Okay, so well done if you got those correct as well. Any mistakes you've made, just pause the video and go back and correct them and work out where it is that you went wrong. And let's warm your brains up then for looking at sequences. Okay, so we know how to look at sequences when we have to work out the difference between numbers, whether they're getting bigger or whether they're getting smaller. Okay, so pause the video again, 5-minute timer, have a go. So how many times are shown in this sequence? Okay, well, we can see there's 5 because we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What is the rule for this sequence? Well, we know here it's getting smaller, but we need to work out, well, how many times smaller? And I can see from 0 to 16 that they've added 16 here. So if we're going backwards, we know that we're going to be taking away 16. Okay. What is the next consecutive integer after 19? Okay, so the next number is going to be 20. So integer is each digit, each number. Okay, so the next consecutive one is going to be the next direct number. Okay, and that's going to be 20. So well done if you got those ones correct. Don't worry about number 3 if you struggled with that one, because that's a concept that you won't have looked at for a very long time. So let's crack on with the learning today. So we're looking at the fractions here of quarters. So we have 1 whole quarter, which is 4 lots of 4. We have an additional quarter left over. So that is a mixed number. Our next mixed number, if we're going to be adding quarters, is going to be 1 whole. But now we're going to have 2 quarters. Okay, so here we're adding a quarter each time because our fraction, our whole number doesn't change, but our fraction is going up by 1 quarter. So if we add another quarter and another quarter and another quarter, what do you think the numbers might be? So well, let's have a look. Well, I go from 1 and 2 quarters. If I'm adding another quarter to 2 quarters, I've got 3 of them. So it's going to be 1 and 3 quarters. If I add another quarter on, I'm going to have 4 quarters. Okay, so I'm going to have 2 lots of 2 4 quarters. So that's going to be 1 and 4 quarters. Now, can I write 1 and 4 quarters? No. Why could I not write 1 and 4 quarters? Okay, so 4 quarters is a whole. So I can add that to my other whole number. So here I would have 2 wholes. Okay. Now I'm going back to adding on quarters. Well, I'm only adding 1 quarter now because I've already got 2 wholes. So I've got to add on 1 quarter. So that tells me I've got 2 wholes and 1 quarter. Okay. With me so far? Okay. So now let's look at how we work it out when we jump it, okay? So we've gone from 1 and 2/3 to 2 and 2/3, okay? So we've added 1 whole this time round. Rather than adding the fractions, we've just added a whole because our fractions here on the side haven't changed, but our whole number has. So we've added a whole number, okay? Now, what do you think we might be adding into that little gap there? Pause the video and have a think. Okay, what is it that I'm going to now be adding? If I'm not now jumping from a whole, what fraction am I now going to be adding? Good, I'm going to be adding thirds, aren't I? Okay, so to get from 1 and 2/3 to the next number, I've got to add another third. Now, if I add another third from 2/3, I've then got a whole one. So I've gone from 1 whole and now I've got 2 wholes. So that's going to be 2 whole parts of my fraction. Then I'm going to add another third on. Well, I know I've already got 2 wholes, and I'm going to add 1/3. So that's 2 and 1/3. If I keep going along, I'm then on 2 and 1/3, 2 and 2/3, 2 and 3/3. Well, now I can't write 2 and 3/3, so it's going to have to be 3 wholes. And then I'm going to add on another third, and then my last one is going to be 3 wholes, but this time I've got 2/3, so it's going to be 3 2/3. Okay? So let's have a think of this one here. How do I get from 5/9 to 7/9? I'm going to add 2/9 to it. Okay. So then to get from 7/9 to 9/9 and then 11/9, I continue to add on my 2/9. Now here you can see I've gone from 5/9, 7/9, 1 whole. And then it's gone 1 whole and 2/9. And then it's going to be 1 whole and however many ninths. So what you do is pause the video. Can you complete the number line top and bottom? Okay, so we're going to be adding 11/9. Okay, we've gone from 13, 15, 17, 19, 21. We've gone up in groups of 2. That is easy peasy. Now what it is, it's converting them now into our mixed fractions. Okay, now I don't need to convert these in my head because I've already got one example to follow, and I know that it's always getting bigger by 2/9. Okay, so my whole number is going to stay the same until that 9/9 there gets bigger. So 1 add 2/9 is going to be 4/9. Then it's going to be 6/9, then it's going to be 8/9. Now I need to add another 2. This is going to take me to 11/9. Now I know I can't do that. So if I add 1/9, that's going to give me 2 wholes. But then I've got that other 1/9 left over. So that's going to then be 1 10/9. Now I can't write 1 10/9. So let's do what we usually do before. Let's multiply. So 1 times 9 is 9. Good. So we've got 1 times 9 is 9. And then we've got the add the 10. That's going to give us our 19. Okay. So then we're going to move along. Okay. Now you can see here that we can't have that like that number. So I know that I've got 1 9. I know I've got 9 9s there and an extra one left over. So that's going to be 2 1/9. And now it's easy. Now I've converted that one. I now just do 1/9, add 2/9. So I know that 1 add 2 is going to be 3. So I've got 2 3/9. Okay. And the easy way to work that out is to do your times tables. So how many 9s were in 19? We've got 9, 18. Well, that's 2. And then I've got 1 left over. So that's 1/9. Okay. So that's going back to what we did yesterday. Okay. So working out and dividing and multiplying those numbers. So now you know how to do that, pause the video and have a go at questions 1 to 3 on your worksheet. Right. Let's get complicated now. Now I have added some additional notes on here in the hope that it helps you, but take this slowly because it is going to get a little bit complicated. So we've gone from 6 1/11 to 5 8/11. So what we've done is we've subtracted this time round. So we've taken away 4/11. Now we can't take away 4 from 1. Okay, so that's too difficult. So what I'm going to show you is you're going to convert your mixed numbers back into improper fractions. And then we're going to do the inverse to get our answers. So 6 1/11 is the same as saying 67 over 11. Because remember, we multiply the denominator and we add the numerator. So 11 times 6 is 66. Add 1 gives us 67. Now I'm going to do the same thing here. 11 times 5 is? Good, 55. What's 55 add 8? Good. Okay, it's going to be 63. Now, if I have a look at these two numbers, it told me here that this got smaller by 4/11. So let's check I've done the right thing here. How do I get from 63 to 67? Do I have to add 4 and then take 4 away? 63, 64, 65, 66, 67. Yeah. So I've made that 4 times smaller. Okay, or I've taken 4 away to make it smaller. So now we continue with the next number. So now I'm going to do 63, take away 4 myself. Okay, and I know that 63 take away 4 is going to be 59. So now I can work out what my mixed number here should be. So let's think about it. Well, how many 11s are there in 59? Okay, so let's count 11, 22, 33, 44, 55. Okay, well, I can't go to 66. I've got 55, so I've got 5 holes. Well, I'm on 55, but I need to get to 59. So how do I get from 55 to 59? So 56, 57, 58, 59. I have 4 left over. So my fraction is going to be 4/11. Okay. Now what I want you to do is pause the video. Can you work out the next 2 missing mixed numbers? What I suggest you to do is work out what these fractions here should be. So you can see the top number is just getting 4 smaller by 4. So work these numbers out first and then convert them into mixed numbers and it should help you. So pause the video and have a go. Okay. So 59 take away 4 is 55. If we convert that, that's going to give us 5 holes, okay? Because 11 into 55 goes exactly 5 times. So then I'm going to do 55 taking away 4, because it says here I've taken away 4 to get from this number. So 55 take away 4 is going to give me 51. Okay, and if I convert 51, that's going to give us 4 wholes. Okay, so we get to 44. And I think how do we get from 44 to 51? We'll add remainder 7, so it's going to be 7/11ths. Okay, so well done if you got those correct. When you come up on these questions on your worksheet that's been sent home in a minute, I suggest you work out the improper fractions first, because then it's going to be easy for you to then convert that number into a mixed number. Okay. Now, what's the rule for this sequence? Okay, what have we had to do every single time, be it to our mixed numbers or to our improper fractions? What have we had to do? Good, we've had to take away 4/11ths, haven't we? So my rule is subtract 4/11ths each time round. Okay, that's exactly how you've just done it. So let's see if you can have a go at doing this one. Okay, now Tiny says there are 3 boxes, so the missing fractions must be thirds. Okay, now the first and fifth terms are consecutive integers. Okay, so you can see that it goes from 11 to 10. There's no other numbers missing in between. Okay, so we've got whole equal numbers of going from 10 to 11. Okay, now Tiny says that there are 3 boxes, so it must be thirds. But if we had numbers in these 3 boxes, we'd have 5, okay, all together. Okay, so to get from the 11 to the 10, we've got to have divided it by 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so we know that this is a whole number. So to get from 10 to get to 4 is 1 whole. But we can see we've got the split of 4 quarters. Okay, because we've started with a number. It's got 1 quarter smaller, 2 quarters smaller, 3 quarters smaller, 4 quarters smaller until it's got to 10. Okay, so we need to be dividing those numbers into quarters. Okay, so have a think. What's the rule for this sequence? So look at the 2 numbers that you've got and look about what we are dividing them into. What's my rule? Okay, well, my rule here, if I look at it, okay, we can see that we've got to be going down in quarters. Okay, so if I had 11 wholes, if I take that away, I've got 10, and then there'd be 3 quarters. Then it would be 10 and 2 quarters. Then it'd be 10 and 1 quarter, and then it would be 10. Okay, so my rule here is we've gone from a bigger number to a smaller number. So my rule here is to subtract 1 quarter. Okay, now that was a little bit trickier. Okay, but what I want you to do is see if you can have a go at doing questions 4 to 6 on your worksheets. Okay, if you get stuck, do not worry, just give it a go. Go back and watch this last part of the video to see if that helps you, okay, and ask anybody that's around you to help you if they can. If it's too much of a struggle though, do not worry, because we will be picking it up in our next lesson tomorrow. Okay, good luck, year 5.